Welcome to the podcast that questions everything, from conspiracies to philosophy, from science to religion. We will be looking at the construct of the illusion, and as always, we will question everything. Welcome to Everything's an Illusion, a podcast where we question everything. With your host, Rob Wallace, and today's podcast is on hemp and the industry, the looking at narcotics, looking at the legality, looking at everything to do with hemp and asking the questions with regards to hemp. So without further ado, let's dive in. Just one thing to start with. If you do enjoy the podcast and you do enjoy what we're doing here, asking questions about everything, please go on to whatever your provider is, be it iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Blurberry, YouTube, whatever, and rate us. Give us a 5-star rating and just makes this worthwhile. Much appreciated. Feel free to click on the adverts if you're on the website. So as a young man, I smoked quite a bit of marijuana. We used to call it dope, but it's known worldwide as Mary Jane, smoke, weed, hash, golf ball, spliff, resin, herb, Mary Jane, I think I said that one. And the list, as you know, goes on and on and on. Each area throughout the world, each housing area, each town has its own way of expressing and describing and words for marijuana. And that just shows you how widespread the use of the drug is. So I smoked it for the intoxication. I smoked it because it was exciting, it was new, I was young, and it changed your perception, and it changed your reality window. It opened it up into something different. It showed you, this world in front of my eyes is slightly different when I take this drug. I don't smoke now, and I haven't for probably over a decade now. However, as a young man, I always thought when I was smoking it, why is this illegal? When you're 14, 15, and you've got that kind of curious mindset, and folk are saying, don't do that, that's satanic, that's evil, drugs are bad, etc. Warp your mind, and you're having a joint and you're thinking, no, it's actually pretty good. I'm sitting back, played guitar for 4 hours non-stop, wrote 3 songs, I'm feeling pretty damn good. Why is it so negative? Why is it illegal, and etc. So obviously 10 plus years ago the internet wasn't so prevalent, so to the library I trot and done a bit of research back then, and found out that it was mainly illegal due to its sort of cousin or brother, which is industrial hemp, which has none of the intoxicating effects of marijuana, and it has other properties. And I was kind of curious, like the thing which I was smoking that was turned into the resin, to the hashish, was illegal, but also this industrial kind of variant of it was also illegal, and the narcotics version was illegal because of the industrial. So that asks you a couple of questions, why is it illegal? So legal and illegal, just a wee quick note on that. Yeah, a lot of times when something's legal or illegal doesn't mean it's right, good, bad, or indifferent. When genocide was legal, i.e. when the white Westerners went to Tasmania and formed a human net, and basically from eyesight to eyesight walked across an entire Tasmania shooting every Aboriginal dead, that was legal, and that was genocide. So your moral compass would say, no, that shit's wrong, that's fucked up, that's no good. So if something's legal doesn't mean it's necessarily right. So it was made in the UK anyway. It was made illegal in 1925, and that was in the Convention of Narcotics Control, and it was the League of the Nations, and that was both the hemp industrial and the narcotic. It's the same thing, but it just has that variant difference where one gets you high and one is different in its it's for the industrial hemp. We'll get into industrial hemp because I think that's the most exciting part of this story, and that's what opened up for me as a young smoker. I found industrial hemp and this crazy material that could revolutionise the world, and I got excited. In 1993, and this is in the UK, so 1993, that's 25 years ago almost, industrial hemp ban was lifted. So that's a wee bit of my, again, how I get into it, how I get into smoking, how I got to from the smoke, if you like. So it is a gateway drug in that sense. It's always talked about hemp as a gateway drug, or marijuana as a gateway drug. Next you'll be doing heroin, next you'll be doing cocaine. Well, for me it was a gateway drug, but it was a gateway drug to finding the truth or finding information and asking questions about things like, well, why is it illegal? What is the law? What is legality? And then getting into questions about, so what is this industrial hemp that was also, or was the reason that the narcotic hemp or marijuana was made illegal? So let's take a step back and go on a wonderful magic history tour of hemp or marijuana, or we'll just call it from now on, we'll just call it hemp. And I'll specify industry or not. But so, in the dawn of recognised modern history, going back 10 to 12,000 years, almost all civilizations in the East, so from India, China, that kind of area, used hemp. They used it throughout the society for very many different kind of things. So if it's in all our histories from civilization up to basically 100 plus years, so for 10,000 years it was used by advanced humans as we built our civilizations, as we created laws, as we created numbers, reading, language, music, culture, art, science. Hemp was there. Hemp was an integral part of human history, but it's only in the last 100 years that we've decided to tar it with a brush of evil and Satan and all these kind of negatives. So industrial hemp has 5 main purposes or 5 main properties, and these have all been used throughout history, and this is why it's been such an important and powerful plant. It has hempen fibre, so that's the long fibres that come from the plant. You can produce oil from the seeds of the plant. Then the seeds themselves can be eaten for food, and I'll go into each of these in more detail. Then there's narcotics, the smoke. That's how we all start off, getting a bit of smoke and getting high. And then there's medicine. Now, in modern days, there's each of these historically have played a significant and important role in our history. So just as we're going through a wee wonderful history tour, if we just look at some of the major religions, now religions are something that have shaped most of humanity. There's 7 billion people on earth, around about 5 billion people purport to be of a religious persuasion. So it's a big influence on human thought, human consciousness. So in India, where obviously India is a big melting pot and big a home of not just industrial hemp, but also of smoking, the ganja. So in ancient Hinduism and the Vedas, it's described as divine nectar. and it gives you good health, long life, and visions of the gods. Now, how amazing does that sound? Here's a plant that's going to give you visions of the gods. Now, if you're a religious person and you devote your entire life to a god and their worship, etc., etc., there is nothing more. There's nothing that you could. I would think there would be nothing better that you could do with your time than smoke marijuana, and with the possibilities of having a vision of your gods, being able to commune with them, to be able to communicate, to get some information direct from the source, bypassing the book. How amazing would that be? So it has these kind of early religious and really on a pedestal, really high. It was also used in China, in Turkey, in Assyria, and this is all within religious kind of connotations. In China, there's a fantastic religion. I think it's fantastic. It's a very loose, flowing, strange religion called Taoism. And most people have heard of it through the yin and the yang, the symbol. And the Taoist monks, they have some Lao Tzu and the Tao Te Ching. It's something to fry your brain. But the Taoism came from shamanism, from Chinese shamanism. And Chinese shamanism, like most forms of shamanism, have rituals and drugs and all this kind of stuff. And marijuana played a big part. And there's documentation stating that in around about 500 BC, they would combine it with ginseng, and ginseng is something that's now promoted for elderly folk or to improve your brain capacity, to make your senses sharp, etc. Promote health, brain health, etc. Combining marijuana and ginseng to look into the future. So they smoked the weed with the ginseng. I don't know if they consumed it beforehand in a tea, because that's how a lot of people consume their ginseng, which is a herb you can buy at Holland and Barrett's or whatever, your drugstore, and to see into the future. So straight away you've these two in the Vedas, and then in Taoism you've got one saying it'll give you visions of the gods, and another one saying it will allow you to peer into the future. See, I'm sold. I'm like, here, this is some good stuff. I want to try this stuff, that. I don't see the negative connotations here. Obviously, it was mainly grew in the Asia kind of region, and then it came over through history, through this religion and use of religious use, through into Turkey, and it was brought by the Scythians, who were a sort of, they're the precursor to most of the European Celtic folks, and they came from northern India, and obviously the Scythians, then they influenced the Greeks, etc., etc. So our entire kind of culture has kind of religious marijuana use ingrained, embedded in its use. Now I'm going to just go over some of the different things. I've got to get a couple of wee facts just to get the hemp fibre found in the oldest Asiatic civilizations. So fibre for rope, paper, etc. found in the oldest Asiatic civilizations. The Saxons and the Normans, so that's the good people of Britain, 400 to 11 AD, they were using hemp and rope. And hemp seeds travelled with the colonials to Canada and the US around 1600. So, as I said, there was five different sort of purposes, or five different things that you can get from the hemp plant. So, if we look at medicine, over time, medicine, the marijuana plant has been prescribed to quieten the mind, lower fever, induce sleep, cure dysentery, leprosy, digestive problems, appetite stimulant, digestive improvement, earache. So throughout different cultures, through India and the Vedas and the Ayurvedic medicine, and in China for their kind of herbalistic kind of traditional medicines, marijuana has been used. But today in modern medicine, there's people throughout the world, in the industrialised Western world, who are going out their way to break the law because of the very positive medicinal effects of marijuana and marijuana oil, the pure THC oil. And it's been for things like MS, autism, headaches, muscle pain, MD, whooping coughs, and cancer. So some of them, MS, autism, cancer, that's some serious shit. You know, people that have MS, again, life is hard. Life is fucking hard. Folk with cancer as well. Life is hard. You know, it's amazing that this simple, cheap, because marijuana is, hemp is cheap to grow. It grows anywhere, and we'll get into that in a minute. But to me, that original idea, illegal, that original thought, why is this illegal? And then when you find out just from a medicinal point of view, all the things it can do, and that people will break the law to get a bit of weed to help them relax, to take away pain, to make them less nausea after treatments from various medicines for cancer, then you've got to think to yourself, why is the doctor not prescribing this? Why are they not in Parliament debating this stuff and getting to grips with it, that this is a fantastic drug that can be grown by everybody and utilised? So then you've got to ask yourself, maybe, why is it illegal? Well, as I said in the first point, it's illegal because of industrial hemp. So the kind of medicinal side is illegal because of the industrial applications of its fibre and its oil. So let's look at the industrial applications of hemp. So the industrial applications are absolutely huge. Over 25,000 different items can be made from hemp, and so some of the basic and classics is, you know, textiles, cordage, rope, construction products, paper packaging, furniture, paint, sealant, plastics, lubricants, fuel, biomass and biofuels, food and feed. So some of the things that make that absolutely astounding is, you know, that's all from one plant. You're getting the fibre, so you could, like, the fibre's 8 times longer than wood fibre. So you can take that fibre and make medium density board, MDA, the fibre board, medium density fibre board, that's 8 times stronger than wood chip fibre board, and then you can coat it in a varnish and then paint it with a varnish and then seal it with a plastic, all from hemp. Again, that's from one plant. And the amazing thing about that is its ability to be grown, and we'll get into that in a second. Its ability to grow in comparison to, say, something like a tree, where we get traditional paper or traditional medium density fibre board kind of products from the wood pulp, etc. So the fibre is, I say, it's 8 times longer, and it's the strongest, or one of the strongest in the natural world. It's got a long fibre, it's elastic, it's durable, it's highly resistant to mildew, to rot, and antimicrobial effect as well. So really good for clothing, medical clothing. And that's the thing, you can make jeans. The original Levi jeans were made from hemp fibre. You know, in fact, everything before 100 years in terms of clothes, a lot of clothes were made from hemp. You know, it takes... So I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here. I'm trying to keep with the story of... So that's the industrial applications. And as you can see, textiles, cordage, It says various construction products. So they are things like hempcrete, like a concrete that's made from quicklime and hemp fibres, but when it sets, it's lightweight and strong and resistant. It's just like standard concrete, which you think this is a plant which can grow phenomenal. So hemp is stronger and it takes less chemicals than wood. So you plant a tree, you plant some hemp seed. If you plant a tree and hemp seed in the same area, you'll get 3 crops, or up to 3 crops of hemp in a year. How many crops will you get from the trees in a year? None. It maybe take between 15 and 30 years to get a harvest from the trees. So in terms of an acre can produce, in terms of acreage, 1 acre can produce as much as 4 acres of tree yield per year. So straight away you're getting 4 times as much product per year. The hempen fibre is stronger than wood pulp and pulped fibre, and it can be recycled up to 7 times as opposed to 3 times. So that for medium density fibreboard, for paper, or the kind of recycled processes that you do with wood, 7 times as opposed to 3. And it grows everywhere. Now here's a key thing. You know, trees, they've got certain kind of place they grow, but marijuana being a kind of strange weed, hempen weed, it'll grow anywhere. It'll grow on chemically reclaimed landfill. It'll grow, you know, it adapts to wet, to cold, to warmth. It's a weed. It's amazing at that ability to adapt. So there's places where farmers can't grow because the soil's weak or their soil is chemically poor. Fire in hemp, boom, it's grown. The thing's a beast. So basically, from comparing it to wood, from a farmer's perspective, you get a better yield, you get a better product that you can do a lot more different things with. You can grow it anywhere, and you're getting three harvests a year in comparison. Now, I suppose some of the problems with that is, like for instance in the UK, I think there's like 3 processing plants in the UK that can take the farmed hemp, the long stalks, and then compress them down and produce the various products from the fibre, from the seeds, etc. So in terms of processing, you know, at the end of the day, you're not going to go and change your farm from wheat or from cattle grazing to hemp if there's nowhere to process it. If you stay in the Highlands of Scotland and the processing plant is in Suffolk, then you've got to take obviously the travel costs of transporting X amount of ton from A to B, and if when you put in the haulage factor, it's not a profitable business. So there is in the UK anyway, there seems to be a negative in the sense that there's not so many processing plants, but the idea and the technology is proven. It's been proven since the dawn of civilization up until now. So we need to get on this. In terms of all the industrial applications, if we look at history, and history will tell us some amazing things. History will tell us that during the Second World War, for example, the Americans ran a campaign, Hemp for Victory. They released a video, you can see that on the page, I'll put that up. Hemp for Victory, where they needed the natural resources of the marijuana to basically win the war. They needed the fantastic resources that hemp brings to the game: the oil, the fibre, the plastics, paint, biofuel. You know, how crazy. And then that same sort of time frame, it was made illegal. So it's so important that it was campaigned. that you will grow hemp, we will win this war. Henry Ford, who obviously Ford motor cars, he made an entire car made of hemp in 1940. The car was produced using hemp fibre, so it was like a fiberglass but made with hemp fibre, painted with hemp paints and sealants. The whole chassis, super strong, all that sort of good stuff. Adidas have made hempen trainers, the whole complete trainer for the sole to the fibre, to the material, the fabric, made out of hemp. Levi, the original Levi jeans, made out of hemp. So there's some amazing historical things to do with hemp. Now I'm going to go some classic facts, and you get these kind of classic facts throughout the website, throughout the internet. There is a lot of classic hemp facts, and these are good just to grab your attention and say, wow, fucking hell, I never knew that shit. All school books in America were made from hemp or flax paper up until the 1880s. It was illegal to pay taxes. It was illegal to pay taxes with hemp in America from 1631 up until the 1800s. So you could pay your taxes with it. That's how important it was. Refusing to grow hemp in America during the 17th and 18th centuries was against the law. Against the law not to grow it. Big George Washington, Thomas Jefferson and other founding fathers grew hemp. So these are the guys who founded the fucking American nation. It's kind of crazy to think that these founding fathers, they knew it was good. They used it. For thousands of years, 90% of all ship sails were made for hemp. So when Columbus supposedly discovered America, but whatever, when he sailed west thinking that he was discovering India or going to India, and the reason he went that way because he didn't want to go through the Middle East. That's another story. When he discovered, he had hemp sails, hemp rope, the sealant and various kind of things that they used in the woods would have been created from hemp. Yeah, it's such an important part of our history that people forget, or not that forget, but not educated in the schools. You know, you've got to get high as a 15-year-old boy to ask these questions. What the fuck is this shit? So, like things like the day-to-day fabrics that would have been in your household up until around the 1820s would have been made from hemp. So things like clothes, linen, drapes, bed sheets, etc., they would have been made from hemp, industrial hemp. So if you're a religious person, if you read the Bible, all the first Bibles, they would have been made from sort of hemp, maybe papyrus or hemp and linen paper. You also had your early maps, charts, flags, even the Declaration of Independence for the 13 states of independence of America was written on hemp paper. So these are some, as you can see, like kind of crazy kind of facts that you say to yourself, wow, it's a kind of strange thing. He's saying this thing is amazing. Henry Ford made a fucking Model T. He ran it on hemp gasoline. He constructed the car from hemp. He ran it on hemp. It was 10 times, I'm just getting it here, popular mechanics, 10 times stronger than steel. The impact strength that he created. So he basically grew a car out of the soil. You can use it for all your fabrics, paints, biodiesel fuel. So why the fuck is this thing illegal? So the major kind of reason it would be, or the major motivation for it to be illegal, was if you look at that kind of time frame, it was sort of made illegal in the UK 1925, and it was made illegal under the Marijuana Tax Act 1937 in America. So if you think about that, around about 1930s, so what was happening in the 1930s? Well, what was happening in the 1930s was a new industry was being born out of oil, out of plastics created from oil, nylon, New York, London. So it's said that the motivation for the hemp ban was that the new processing technologies were developed that made it a potential competitor with newly founded synthetic fibres and plastics like nylon made from oil. So hemp's potential for producing paper also posed a threat to the timber and oil industries, and evidence suggests that commercial interests having much to lose from hemp competition helped propagate the reefer madness hysteria. As I'm reading a wee bit here from hempfarm.org, they're basically saying the major reason it was made illegal was the major industries of the day lobbied to first create a bad visual, a bad name, a spin campaign to make marijuana synonymous with weak mind, the devil, all these kind of things, and then used that to make illegal the industrial hemp. And that industrial hemp is made illegal because the big lobbyists, i.e. the timber and oil industries, didn't want this competitor. So let's think about that for a second. You have an oil and timber industry. Now, that is an industry, whereas you can potentially grow hemp everywhere and anywhere, as they have been doing for thousands of years in history. One plant that can potentially compete with your cash. It's a classic story throughout history. We've got the cash, we've got interest here, we need to reduce that interest, we need to control this resource, we need to make money for this resource. So how do we maximise a profit from this resource? Well, we need to get that resource diminished. We need to get people to stop using that so that our product becomes the product. Is it the best product? No. Who cares? We're in it to make money. So let's do everything we can to have a negative impact on that industry so that we can take the slice of the pie, rewrite history, and come up with a shite and make loads of money. That does sound a bit conspiracy. It does sound a bit far-fetched. But all the information is there. It's all there for you to look at it. And I'm going to wrap it up, a wee summary. But I'm going to wrap it up. And you can... I'll put loads of links on the page so you can check it out, have a wee read, see what you think. All the links are there. So just to wrap up, hemp is an industrial. It's probably the best kept secret in terms of an engineering material that is so versatile that it can do almost anything. We're talking building houses from hempcrete, insulating the house, painting the house, fueling the house, the fire, etc. with the fuels from the seeds, feeding the occupants with the seeds, insulating the roof with hemp fibre insulation. So there's a house, you could drive it in the car. Big Henry Ford showed us that, the Model T. The people who are living in the car, living in the house and driving the car, could be wearing hemp clothing, lying on hemp bed sheets, hemp curtains, hemp carpet, and just say that they had some problems with sleeping, or they had MS or muscle pain. They could be smoking the hemp to get some medicinal use. It's also they can get medicine without the effect of the THC. So, and then the person who lives in the house, drives the car, works their farm, which is a hemp farm. It's like a wonderful, crazy world of wonderfulness. All the fibres, all the utilisation of this one product. That's why it's illegal. Cool. Hope that was of interest, and it was of interest to me. I'm Rob, your host of Everything's Illusion podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, share, comment, tell your friends. If you're listening on, say, iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating or 5-star review, and check out some of our sponsors. Fantastic stuff there. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Yeah. Everything is an Illusion is brought to you by RobWallaceMedia.com, award-winning media. TheEnergeticMind.com, inspirational, motivational and thought-provoking art. And Health Made Simple. Buy today, change your life forever. healthmadesimple.info. Thank you, and remember, question everything.